You're listening to Suburban Stories. I'm your host, Jacob Villacorta. For today's episode, I have a story I want to share about state parks and inflatable rafts. So let's get right into it. One day back in 2019, me and my friend Alan purchased an inflatable raft from Walmart. After, we went home to inflate the raft and headed straight for Island Lake State Park. We parked by a picnic shelter near the river and quickly got everything in the water and ready to go at around 8:30. At first, we were having a great time riding the slow current. Until about an hour and a half in, we bumped into a fallen tree in the water and it caused part of the raft to deflate. There were two parts of the raft that still had air, so we figured we could just keep going. We were still really far from the end point and we couldn't just get out of the water. We realized that we should probably paddle harder to finish sooner. As we got a little further, we realized that our raft was slowly losing air, so we paddled harder to get to the end. But it was already past 10:30, so it was pretty dark. Eventually, we made it to the exit sandbank at around 11:30. By then, there was no more air in the raft, and we were soaking wet. It was a good thing we brought a waterproof bag to put all of our stuff inside. We still had to walk back to the car, which took about an hour. When we got back, we found a note on the windshield left by some park people saying that we were basically locked in the park, but we weren't about to wait there all night. Then I remembered there was a walking trail that exits out onto one of the main intersections. I know motor vehicles were probably prohibited, but what other options did we have? So we proceeded to drive the car through the narrow trail. It was slow and bumpy, but we made it to the exit. We could even see the stoplight. Now, all we had to do was get around those pillars that were supposed to prevent vehicles from entering. Luckily, there was enough room between the first pillar and the trees for us to drive through. So as soon as that light turned green, we hoped that there were no cops around, and we drove over the grass and sidewalk onto Grand River and we were on the way home. We were so happy to finally be out of there. It was almost 2 a.m. I was surprised and glad that my car made it through without any sort of damage. That's about all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Suburban Stories. Be sure to tune in next time for another story.